Before I start things off, a special thanks to my channel member Loki Bentio for supporting the channel as the first member at the legendary Blader level. You rock. Now, in every popular piece of media, there is always that one character that becomes the face of the community. Dragon Ball has Goku and One Piece has Luffy. But why does this happen? It is simply because these characters are the protagonists of their respective series. I'm not so sure. Because Satoru Gojo is the face of Jujutsu Kaisen, the most popular character in the series, the one that brings in the most sales. So the answer to this question can't be simplified as people's love for the hero of the story. Homelander from The Boys is another great example of this situation, a character that isn't even the protagonist of the series but has fans convincing themselves that he is. Surprisingly, there are genuinely people on the planet that believe Homelander is the hero of the story. Personally, I believe what it really comes down to is how hard of an impression a character leaves on the audience. Essentially, the aura of the character. Does this character invoke an intense raw emotion from a large portion of the community? If the answer is yes, then good chances are that the character becomes the face of the series. Which is why it's no surprise the Dragon Emperor Ryuga is the face of Beyblade, the main antagonist of the first season of the Metal Fight Saga, the embodiment of raw strength in the series. Ryuga left an insane impact on the audience as he was the first person to hand Jinga a loss in the series, absolutely crushing him and treating Jinga like fodder, which was absolutely insane at the time because Jinga seemed like an unbeatable protagonist during the first 12 episodes of season 1. As a result, Ryuga has become one of the most beloved characters in Beyblade history, all thanks to his ability to captivate the audience upon his arrival. Even the mention of his name increased the tension of a scene. So if you're someone that wants to improve their aura, check out Anime Express, the sponsor of today's video. Let's be real, a lot of anime merch sucks, low quality, and the designs are not moving the soul, but the Anime Express store has something for you. Hoodies, t-shirts, LED lamps, and black blades in stock filled with Mihawk's Conquerors hockey. The site even has some more casual options if you want a more low-key look. Personally, I think the coolest items in the catalog are the Toji compression shirt and the blue lock necklace. If you're someone putting that work in at the gym to attain that godly physique, then this is a no-brainer pickup. Show off those muscles like a true egoist should. Also, since I make sure to look out for my people, if you use the code TheLocalDub10, you get a 10% discount at checkout, so make sure to lock in at animeexpress.store to gain plus 500 aura. Now let's get back into the video. Now, like I talked about earlier, Ryuga is a highly respected and popular character in the Beyblade community. He has some of the most iconic victories in the entirety of Beyblade, alongside owning a Bey with a cool gimmick and having some of the funniest lines in the series. I think it's safe to say that the average Beyblade fan loves Ryuga, but there are people that love Ryuga a bit too much to the point where I start to imagine how these people would act in the Dragon Ball fandom. Yes, they would be the ones replying under every social media post asking the legendary question, but do they beat Goku? That analogy perfectly describes hardcore Ryuga fans in the Beyblade community. Well, maybe I should specify them as the toxic Ryuga fans, although I feel that is kind of implied. Regardless, I'll keep this in just to be safe. Because obviously there are Ryuga fans that are normal human beings that don't give me the impression that they chug 12 cans of Monster Energy drinks a day. So if you are a Ryuga fan and none of these things I'm about to talk about apply to you, then don't get offended. I've witnessed the power of agenda scaling turn the One Piece and Jujutsu Kaisen fandoms into a battleground of brain rot, sometimes enjoyable brain rot, but still brain rot. The fact that I still see people say that Shanks isn't a swordsman or that Gojo is stronger than Sukuna will forever hurt my brain. The ringing in my ears when I hear this foolishness is all thanks to agenda. Ryuga fans in the Beyblade community are no different. If you tell a hardcore Ryuga fan that Tsubasa and Kyoya were not negatived during the Battle Bladers arc, be prepared to witness 120% of their ability to cope. Like, Ryuga fans, when it comes to these discussions, are coping harder than Deku fans after the end of My Hero Academia. These type of Ryuga fans believe that the character is unbeatable, when this is the same character that got his back blown out by Rago. Ryuga couldn't even defeat Kyoya without El Drago having to step in and possess his body in order to win. It's so nasty when Ryuga fans downplay Kyoya's feats during that fight. Ryuga was like, "Lend me some hockey, El Drago, this is base Kyoya we are up against." If you bring up the completely valid criticism that Ryuga regressed as a character during the start of Metal Fury, these types of Ryuga fans will simply call you a hater. While I do think that Ryuga's regression led towards an interesting character arc with Kenta, I don't believe that it's really up for debate that after the way Ryuga acted in Metal Masters, him going back to his season 1 persona makes a lot of sense. I'll be honest, beyond Ryuga fans, there are just a lot of toxic fans of the Metal Fight Saga of Beyblade, which isn't really surprising as it is the most popular era of Beyblade. So a lot of toxic Metal Fight fans are even worse than toxic Ryuga Ryuga fans, it's like the second these individuals don't see a domain expansion, their fingers are lit on fire to type the sentence, "Bring back the Metal Saga," which is kind of funny because after I released my video criticizing the Beyblade X anime, I received some comments from people forming the conclusion that I was a Metal Fight Saga super elitist. I couldn't help but laugh when reading some of these comments because I'm extremely unbiased when it comes to discussing the Beyblade anime. I'm currently watching the Burst generation. I've been enjoying it so far. Also, while I did criticize the X anime to hell, I also acknowledge just how amazing the actual products of the X generation are. I absolutely hate how blinded by nostalgia a lot of Metal Fight fans are. Do not mix me up with those weirdos. The average toxic Metal Fight Saga fan is mentally stuck in the year 2009 and thinks Beyblade ended after Shogun Steel. Speaking of Shogun Steel, one of these days I need to make a video talking about it because Shogun Steel is single-handedly the most overhated season by the Beyblade community. That season was gas. However, I'll save that rant for a video much later into the future. But back to Ryuga and the Metal Fight Saga fans. It truly is insufferable how someone could be enjoying a different era of Beyblade and be constantly met with the unprovoked "Metal Fight clears" comments. Like, my brother in Christ, you sound like an NPC. There's nothing wrong with having the Metal Fight era as your favorite, but being so ignorant to the idea that someone could like a different era is crazy. Honestly, I feel that it all comes down to nostalgia for the Metal Fight Saga and parasocial relationships connected to Ryuga. So when you criticize the character in any way, the fan of said character feels as if you are attacking them personally. These types of situations can happen with any series, although I feel it's more common with series that have a longer history than others, which is why once again I found it so weird when people decided to label me as a Metal Fight elitist. Overall, what I'm trying to get at here is that Metal Fight fans, whether you are a Ryuga fan, Jinka fan, or whatever, you need to chill out. I've criticized the X anime to hell and back, but if you're someone who finds pleasure in it, more power to you. I have every right to think that you are insane, but more power to you. I hope you continue enjoying it. The same principle goes towards people who dislike a certain era or season of Beyblade and at the bare minimum articulates their reasoning in a healthy manner that isn't just saying a certain series clears another. That person shouldn't be called a hater for that. I think the Beyblade anime community needs to be more mature with these discussions, so hopefully this video reaches the masses and this foolishness starts to die down. But when this video gets uploaded, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the first 10 comments is "Metal Fight clears the Burst Saga." If you stuck around till the end of the video, I just want you to know that I appreciate you. And if you want to talk to me about anime related topics, join my Discord server. Also consider becoming a channel member, another way to support me and I support you back with shoutouts at the end of the video, early access to new videos, custom emotes, and members only videos depending on which level of membership you decide to choose. And if you're someone that enjoys anime content that keeps it real, consider subscribing so when I hit 10k, you can brag about being a day one. I gotta get back in the kitchen to cook. Peace.